Today's stories include everything announced at the Super Nintendo World Direct. Dragon's Dogma 2 director has a new studio, and GTA Trilogy gets a surprise new update. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up and welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, November 12th, 2024. Of course, I am your host, Tim Geddes. I am joined today by Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Good day, Tim.
Good day, Bless. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I feel like it's now become rarer that you're hosting KHD with me and you're in the hosting seat.
I don't know why that is, but it definitely is the case because right before we went live, Roger's like, I'm going to go to your cold open. I was like, thank God he said that because I would have
You've just been sitting here
totally
like...
missed it and pulled a Kevin.
Yeah.
But how you been? I feel like I haven't hung out with you in a long time. I don't know why that is.
I mean, I guess, just that, like, last week it was me and Snowbike Mike week, and then yesterday was Gary Woodda. I feel like we just haven't been getting scheduled together on
Chips
KG.
in the night.
Yeah, we're not been one-on-one as much.
But I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I mean, review season for me feels like it's hit a dip.
Yeah.
In a good way, because, like, I was playing games like crazy in, like, the last few months, and so now I've entered a TV era.
Ooh,
I
love that for you.
Watch some TV and like I'm trying to get back into the movies because like this year I feel like I've watched nothing. At least in the second half of the year, it felt like maybe it's just been the industry. Like it's felt like nothing has been coming out that's been worthwhile enough to get me out into the theater. I think the last movie I watched was the weird Nicolas Cage one.
No, you watched Venom 3. Don't lie.
You're right. I did watch Venom 3.
Don't you lie.
I forgot that I watched.
Why did you do that?
I got invited to some people that I think are really cool and I wanted to hang out with. So I was like, all right, I haven't even seen Venom 1 and 2.
Okay.
And so I jumped right to 3 and I was like, you know what, man? This shit's shit, but it was a fun watch.
Yeah,
right. Like,
I'm happy for you.
It's a goofy movie.
Eddie,
fucking this guy, he has that dog in him, and they're fucking doing dance numbers and shit in Vegas.
Yeah,
it's a weird film.
It's a very weird.
I fell asleep in like the last hour.
Oh God, the last hour. Okay.
Yeah. I got some good sleep during Venom. But I do want to watch Substance. I've been hearing people talk about the Substance. The streets have been all about the Substance, and so that's on my list.
I've seen the weirdest shit. That movie makes no sense to me. Anytime I see any clip from it on Twitter, I'm like, there's no way these clips could be from the same movie.
I've seen only one clip or like one screenshot of Substance, and it's like, I guess I don't know what constitutes the spoilers, but it was some freaky shit.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I gotta see this.
So what TV shows you been watching?
I mean, the ones that everybody's been watching, right? Penguin, caught up on that. I guess I finished it, right?
Our interview's out now. You can go check that out.
Yeah, it absolutely phenomenal show. Up there probably is some of the best comic book television, I'd say.
Oh, period.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially like a singular season of
absolutely.
television.
I mean, I don't want to spoil where it ranked, but very high on the Batman in review list, even comparing it to the Batman movies.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Another one, Agatha All Along, which I would also say, for me personally, as a singular season of comic book television, up there as well.
Did you finish it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shockingly good.
Incredible stuff towards the end.
I am a hater of like modern MCU, especially on the TV side, right? Like, I feel like it's always a flip of the coin whether or not I'm going to like an MCU show. This one, probably top 2 or 3 for me, right? I put it up there with like the best season, like, or I guess, one of the seasons of Loki.
WandaVision, yeah.
Fantastic stuff. And so I'm trying to find another show to watch. I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball Z. I'm like 60 something, or Dragon Ball Super. I'm like 60 something episodes in Dragon Ball Super. That's been fun. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the next thing I'm going to watch is. I put on the first episode of, I think it's called Industry.
Yeah.
The Industry, yeah. I watched the first episode of that yesterday on HBO. I don't know if I'm going to keep going, but it seems interesting.
It's good.
Is it? Okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The thing that I was talking about yesterday on Penguin in Review, but I never watched all of the Netflix Marvel shows. So I've been slowly over the last couple of years trying to like get through them. And I'm a completionist, so I want to watch them all. And especially with Marvel stuff, like I care about that stuff. So I've seen Daredevil 1 and 2. I saw Jessica Jones 1 and all of that. I'm like, I'm so into this. Like the season's way too long, way too much filler. Some things I'm like, this is just not good. But overall, really great stuff. Get to Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Halfway through, I'm just like, oh man, this is just tough. It's just tough.
Luke Cage was a tough one, especially at a certain point you lose one of the most interesting characters in the show, and then it's like, okay, I really don't.
So we just gave up on it just because other things came along in like our time. So it's been actually probably like a year since we've watched any of these. And now that Born Again's coming out so soon in March, I was like, gee, we got to get back on track. Like I want to get caught up because I want to make sure I've seen at least all the Daredevil stuff before that happens. And so we started Defenders.
Oh no, dude!
Let me tell you,
I forgot about Defenders.
We watched the finale of Penguin.
Yeah,
we're on a high. We watched Defenders, and I'm just like, what is going on in my life?
Because like everybody hates on. You seen Iron Fist?
No. Okay. Well, now I have because of Defenders, and that's the biggest problem I'm having with Defenders so far.
Well, like here's
this
the thing.
Man, and his stupid tattoo.
He's insufferable. I was at the time a bit of a defender of Iron Fist. Not that it was good, just that I was like, it's not that bad, guys. It's not that bad. Then I got to Defenders and I was like, oh, this is shit. Yeah. This is like really, really bad to the point where I can't defend this anymore. No pun intended. What I will say, Iron Fist season 2, again, not great, but entertaining to watch. Okay. I really enjoyed Iron Fist season 2. And also Jessica Jones seasons 2 and 3. Like, I think everything in that like Netflix Marvel banner has some sense of, we know how to keep you in, even if the content isn't good. Yeah. We know how to like string you along with interesting threads and, you know, characters that you want to see what happens to them.
We'll get to it eventually. We'll watch it all, but I think that our plan is to just watch Defenders and then Daredevil season 3 before Born Again, because I was looking at like the timeline stuff and it seems like those are the only things that are going to directly lead to that, because everything else happens post Daredevil season 3. So I'm like, all right,
dude, Daredevil season 3, incredible.
Oh, I know. That's what I hear. Incredible. That's what I hear. So
also related to this, I put up a post on Blue Sky. I'm trying to post a little bit. You know, I stopped tweeting after a while, but I'm trying to post a little bit, see what the waters are like. And I asked people like, hey, if I want to get better at media analysis, specifically TV and movies, like what are recommendations? Like, are there books to read? Are there things to watch? Because like, I don't know. I want to, you know, expand. Up the game. Yeah, I want to up my game. I want to expand, you know, the way I think about movies, the way I think about just media in general, so I can talk about them in a more interesting way, right? And just grow. And quite a few people, shout out to Arthur Gies, I think Brian Altano doubled down on this, of like, suggested that maybe I take a community college course.
Ooh.
And it got me thinking. I was like, maybe I'm going to take a community college course. I want to look into it because I don't know what's like around me, what I can actually find, but piqued my interest.
I like this.
And so,
Blessing goes to college.
Blessing goes to college.
Part 2.
That might be, yeah, exactly. That might be a new era, but we'll see.
Oh, man. Well, keep me updated on that. That sounds very, very interesting, but we'll talk about it later because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we get together to talk about video game news, everything that you need to know under the video game sun. If you love what we do, please support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of the show, you can submit your thoughts as YouTube Super Chats as we go. If you have questions, please let us know. We're going to be talking about Super Nintendo World. So if you have any thoughts on the Direct that happened yesterday, please super chat them in and we will get to those. A little housekeeping for you. The Visual Triangle merch drop is here. The year is 2024. Space travel is possible, but the in-flight beverage service is lacking. We no longer have to choose between frame rate, resolution, and quality. Take full control of the Visual Triangle right now at kindoffunny.com/store. It's on sale for a limited time and it is dope as hell. I absolutely love this little dual triangle situation with the white and green. Woo! Looking good.
We're Roger in that bottom left picture.
I love it. Adorable.
Stoned, bro. Just looking so stoned.
Roger somehow looks like the coolest person I've ever seen in this office.
I've never worn a beanie in my life, and I had to look at Nick. I'm like, is this over my ears? Is this under my ears? Like, I don't know how.
You're kind of rocking it there.
Yeah, no, you're super rocking it.
Yo, real talk. I think everybody in this photo shoot looks great. Like, look at the definition in Nick's like pectoral situation. I'm like,
I'm like, what's crazy is that I also took photos for this photo shoot and just didn't make the thing.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. So you know what I mean? We can't all make
it. And they used just a generic image for the last one.
Yeah,
right? Like, that's crazy.
That's nuts, actually, now you mention it.
That is nuts. Today after Games Daily, you're going to get our Kind of Funny GamesCast, which is our South of Midnight preview. I'm very jealous, but Paris Lilly got to go to Compulsion Games and play a little bit of South of Midnight. Can't wait to hear what he has to say about his thoughts on that, because I'm very hyped for that game.
Yo, it looks incredible.
It looks awesome. Like the announcement trailer had me sold, but seeing the gameplay this year, this year.
Yep.
Man, that should look good. So I'm stoked on that. And then the stream after that is going to be Planet Coaster with Mike and Nick. I'm sure shenanigans will ensue. If you're a Kind of Funny member, you can get today's Greg Way, which is all about Greg's Costco obsession. He's turning into one of them kids. The
Rizzler.
Yeah.
The Costco bros.
Yeah.
Did you see one of them is, or like the big guy is like on AEW?
AEW, yeah.
What's happening?
I don't know. These men, I'm going to call them men. Yeah. All the three of these men. I have heard about the Costco guys in the last couple like weeks, but like I didn't really latch on. I didn't understand. I didn't dig deeper. I didn't look into it.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, in the last week, I can't get away from them. They're everywhere. Like now I'm very familiar.
See, I saw them when they first like started popping off, but I think I had scrolled past them fast enough to where they didn't latch onto my algorithm.
Got it.
So like I saw them once. They were just in Costco, just being like, "Oh man, I like the chicken bake or whatever," and I was like, "Oh, that's funny." And then I like keep going, and then all of a sudden I see them on talk shows, and I was like, "Wait, how these guys end up on a talk show?"
It's wild, and in a post Ellen era, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they would have been on Ellen day one, but it's like you're telling me these guys are on Fallon, and I appreciate it. Good for you, Rizzler. Good for you. Okay.
The Rizzler is the one where I don't know where that person came
I don't know
from.
where they came from.
I don't know
They're
how,
not related
but they're
either.
not related.
They're not related,
No.
which is
freaks me
crazy.
the fuck out.
I don't know if that's a child or a man either.
They had a whole rap.
After the whole, Hasbullah.
Yeah.
I, like there was a video of Mike Tyson playing with Hasbullah, like he's a child, like tickling him and like kissing him on the forehead, and then like later on, like they asked Mike Tyson, they're like, "Did you know it's a grown man?" He was like, "Nah, man, I thought it was a child."
Oh no!
And so now I'm like, I can't judge anymore. When I see people like when I see the Rizzler, I'm like, no idea if you are a 30-year-old man or a 6-year-old kid or anything in between.
I mean, honestly, I do have a lot of questions, but the thing that upsets me way more than it should is I've seen a couple of the videos of them at Costco doing their whole doom or boom thing, and I feel like this Rizzler kid isn't consistent, and it really pisses me off. I've seen him review the same thing, chicken bake versus the double chocolate cookie, whatever.
So the Rizzler is in the videos?
The Rizzler's the one that I've seen. He's the one that's actually like laying down the law.
I usually see the guy who, for some reason, reminds me a little bit of Kurt Angle, and then I see the just a little bit, and then I see like the Jolly Kid. But yeah, I guess I missed out on where the Rizzler came from. Also, why is he called the Rizzler?
Everybody, we're gonna have to figure this out.
Also, see if you can find the Mike Tyson video because it's hilarious.
Overly Jabby says that's big justice. No! Oh my God, no!
So he's like holding on to Azula because he thinks he's a child. That man is like in his early 20s. He's like, imagine Mike Tyson doing that to you. I would be scared for my life.
Holy shit!
It's a fucking grown-ass man.
What the fucking hell, man? Oh man, okay.
Jesus. Oh,
Whew.
I needed
Settle it
that
in.
this morning.
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Lady Twining and Carl Jacobs, for supporting all of this insanity. Did you mean to do that, Raj?
I don't know why I did that.
It's a
Shout out
Tuesday,
Patreon
everybody. We're having some fun. Today we're brought to you by Sonic at Topgolf, Marvel Snap, and Shady Rays. We'll tell you about that later, though. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 7 stories today.
Oh, Baker's dozen.
Whew. All right, story number 1.
I gotta find the Mike Tyson interview where he admits that he didn't realize that was a child. That wasn't a child.
Like, there's so much there because, like, I don't even want to go down the path of, like, the reality of him thinking that it's a child that he doesn't know and him acting that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the type of stuff if it's like if it's your kid, it's appropriate.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's fair.
If you're Mike Tyson, that ain't appropriate, bro.
That's true. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Everything announced during the Super Nintendo World Direct. This comes from Kat Bailey at IGN. Super Nintendo World Direct on Monday offered fans their long-awaited first look at the new Donkey Kong Country-themed expansion while announcing it will officially open December 11th, 2024 in Japan. The brief presentation led by legendary designer Shigeru Miyamoto, who is ageless, provided an overview of the area's attractions, games, food, and merch. Among other things, Miyamoto showed off a Donkey Konga-themed rhythm game that can be played with friends and revealed how the park's wristband can be used to gather letters spelling Kong. The presentation finished with a brief glimpse of the much-hyped Minecart Madness roller coaster, which will simulate the rail-jumping action of the original game for the Super Nintendo. Fans will have to see for themselves how Universal Studios will pull that off, but Miyamoto promises it'll be fun even for families who are normally averse to roller coasters. Super Nintendo World's approaching its 4th anniversary in Japan, having originally opened in December 2020. First details of Donkey Kong Country theme park were announced last year with a tentative opening date set for spring 2024. It's now set to open December 11th at Universal Studios Japan, with the version of Super Nintendo World in Florida also featuring the area when it opens in 2025. Barrett's joined us.
Barrett, is this Donkey Kong?
Yo, this Kong's my dunk so hard.
Whoa.
I also looked over at I was over in the other room seeing the TV of the B-roll, and I thought I'd like taken shrooms for a second, seeing them just do the drums back and forth. We going? What's up?
Oh, 1,000%. Like, me and Barrett need to go. And Tim, if you're,
of course.
Come on. Like, we got to make this happen. My thing is, I only watched the first like 5 minutes of the video. I know Tim has watched the full thing.
5 minutes?
Yeah, it's like an
11.
It's an 11
minutes.
It's funny because once we realized that this is going to be the KFGD headline, I started watching the video so I could have it watched by the time we got to the KFGD. And I started it. I was like, oh, I don't have enough time. Like, I gotta get to the stage. Like, we gotta start the episode. But like in the first 5 minutes, a lot of this seems, I don't know, man. Like, I guess I don't know if it's that I've experienced the magic that is Disney. I think it is that I've experienced the magic that is Disney. Where a lot of this, I'm just like, it ain't hidden for me as much. Like, I look at this.
That looks disgusting.
I was gonna say that looked gross. This Donkey Kong hot dog.
What the fuck are we doing?
Oh no, that looks absolutely delicious. I get what you're saying though, because like I feel like the Nintendo stuff has leaned a bit more Marvel side of Disneyland than like classic Disneyland that we like know and love. Of like, let's make these like goofy little games that have gadgets and shit like that like aren't really interesting and stuff like that. So,
Tim, you're the theme park papa.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of this?
Look, here's the thing. I'm very excited. I'm just very stoked that Donkey Kong Country is getting love, period. I'm a big DKC guy. And last week was the 30th anniversary of Donkey Kong Country. And I don't know if you saw how they celebrated, but they didn't. They just the Donkey Kong Japan Twitter account tweeted out just an image. Like, remember when we got that Mario 35th anniversary? I don't remember what it was, but 40th, who the fuck knows? An anniversary for Mario, the last time they celebrated. And we got a direct, and that's where I think they announced Bowser's Fury and Mario 3D World coming to the Switch, as well as Mario 3D All-Stars Collection. And they had that like image that was like, whatever it was, 35th, and like all the Mario characters were around it. Do you remember what I'm talking about there?
No.
Just that logo. Well, anyways, they did that for Donkey Kong. And it's like, all right, cool. Why are you going to give us anything? And they just didn't. They just didn't give us anything. It's just like this picture with the music playing. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That 35th.
Oh, I see.
So they did that for Donkey Kong, and I'm like, all right, cool. So then a couple days later, we get this, and then Nintendo are at the point where they just want to announce and talk about literally anything except for the Nintendo Switch 2. But I get it. I get where they're at with this, right? We're getting a direct for Alarmos. We're getting a direct for theme parks. We're just getting a direct for Nintendo music.
Doing whatever they can.
We're getting it all. They did put out the Donkey Kong Country 2 soundtrack on Nintendo Music to celebrate, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But
wait, so they did this for Donkey Kong like what, a week ago? You said.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So and they didn't want to time this.
You'd think
with that.
You would think.
Yeah, or like
they just did it
because it feels like they have. Because Donkey Kong Country Returns is out also early next year, so it feels like there's like a lineup of things they could talk about. Granted, I guess I don't know what more you have to say about DK Returns. But I feel like that is kind of weird, that like you have this, like enough things that you could theoretically bundle together for an anniversary thing and you just decide not to.
Yeah, and classic Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
Like the way that they celebrate or don't celebrate anniversaries is always a little bit bizarre. I'm trying to find this tweet right now, but I don't think I'm going to be able to live. But
as you're doing this, I love watching Miyamoto just get to imagine. I know we've talked about this before, right? Miyamoto created magic in his lifetime, and the fact that he's been able to see that through all the way to, the world knows Mario, the world loves Mario, you're able to have a Mario movie, you're able to have movies plural, you're able to have a theme park and like be on the ground floor of like developing the theme park, and now like being in a direct playing congas, being like, oh man, Donkey Kong, right guys? Like God bless Miyamoto, God bless this man. But also, I've told you this before the start of the show, that for some reason Miyamoto strikes me as like almost like an ageless being.
Yeah,
like he's been around for hundreds of years. The fact that he's like he created Mario, and he's around still to be like, oh yeah, here's the theme park, guys. I'm gonna walk you guys through the theme park.
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts to me.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's a bizarre thing to say, but I get where you're coming from. It is fun to see Miyamoto used to be kind of like the face of Nintendo when it came to games, and in the last decade or so, he really has kind of transitioned into being more of a Nintendo ambassador, if you will, where he is kind of like way more focusing and being the face of getting outside of games and taking the game IP and putting it in different places. And it's very cool to see Nintendo make some of the moves they have in the last couple of years, including like the Nintendo Museum that looks awesome, like looks so damn rad. I watched the Rogers Base, who's an excellent YouTuber, big fan of him. He got to go to the Nintendo Museum and he put up a video like doing his like a vlog tour of it essentially. And I'm like, they put so much love and care into it. And some of it is the cool museum, like let's look at all the actual pieces of history. And some of it is a bit more of the gimmicky, let's play some games. And that's that Nintendo magic, right? That's that Nintendo, like we got to do something that's interactive because that's core to their DNA. And we'll see that, like Barrett was talking about, in the theme parks. Like, I forget, have you been to Super Nintendo Land down in SoCal? So I got to go for the first time a couple months ago, and bringing up, you even brought up the Disney versus Universal. I mean, like, let's just call it what it is. Like, Disney cares about things and levels of polish and the overall experience in a way that is unique only to them.
Like nobody else can do it on that level because they're Disney.
And I was at Universal for the first time ever. I've never been there, and so I got to experience all of it. And I was supremely let down by Universal Studios. Like, so much of it just felt kind of small and weird. Some things were cool, but overall, I was just like, this ain't it. Nintendo Land kicked ass. Nintendo Land did feel like it had that upped polish. Like, I felt real Disney magic of walking through the warp pipe and going into Peach's castle and hearing the music and seeing the Bob-omb battlefield paintings and stuff. Like, they nailed so much of that. It's just so small, the one that we have here. So, like, I do feel like going to Japan and getting the bigger full experience would really help. And you're kind of done after an hour max of doing all the things. And I don't find too much enjoyment personally in playing the dumb little games that they have. I'm sure the little kids who it's made for would enjoy it a lot more. And seeing a lot of the Donkey Kong stuff that they had here, I feel like it'll be a similar thing. Like, I don't know how far you got in the video, but one of the interactive things is the Donkey Konga. You have to like hit the bongos. Like, there's 3 sets of bongos and all 3 need to hit at the same time. And if you do it, it unleashes Rambi the Rhino. And he kind of pops out of one of the boxes up there. And it's just like, cool. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's my reaction to it. Watching Miyamoto do this and like, bang the bongos and Rambi come out. I'm like, all right, like it's not necessarily for me, but I understand that also this isn't being made for me, right? Like, this is being made for kids and for parents who want to bring out their kids and celebrate Nintendo and do all that stuff. But yeah, like, I mean, the fact that I think where my head's at is, one, I love Donkey Kong enough, even as an adult, where I'm like, oh man, I'll for sure go to Nintendo World so I can see both the Donkey Kong and the Mario stuff. But then also, I'm excited to see if and how they expand it. I would love for them to get to a Nintendo or to a Zelda World. I forget where we had a conversation about like the whole Aonuma in a hard hat thing. I forgot where we landed on like, where do you think they're taking that? Like, are we going to get a Zelda World?
Yeah, I think Zelda's next in line. I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, again, you can kind of look at Nintendo's foray in frontier into outside of video games media, and knowing that we have Mario movie, we have a Donkey Kong thing coming up, we have a Zelda thing coming up. I think that those seem to be their big 3 that they're pushing with that intent, right? I feel like Pokemon's a little bit different just because like of ownership and all of that, and Pokemon is its own beast to itself.
Pokemon can get its own world, like its own separate like
theme park. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do think eventually we'll get Zelda stuff. There is, with theme parks, there's always the problem of land. There's just the problem of like, where are you going to build more things? Like, we can come up with all these great ideas. It'd be cool if they had this and this and this. And it's like, all right, well, you need the space for it. And even, the limited space that they have in Universal down south, like it's the Mario Kart ride is like one of the coolest cues and lines and just like environments I've ever been in for a ride. Like, it has that special something that like Indiana Jones does, where at Disneyland, where it's like, I can't believe how immersed I am in authentic Mario lore and items, and you're looking around and you see like the different trophies from the different Mario Karts, and there's just so many little nuggets for you to look at. I think it reminds me a lot of the Tower of Terror ride as well, where even the Guardians version, where like you're in line, you're just like, whoa, this is so special. The ride itself sucks. Like it just doesn't work well. It's very cool in concept, but the AR stuff just doesn't work at all. That's why I'm very excited for this Donkey Kong thing. I have full faith. Thank you, Roger.
Rose ass hot dog.
I have full faith in this minecart roller coaster. Like everything we've seen of it sounds awesome. Yeah, because it's an authentic ride.
Yeah, Roger, let me see what this looks like.
Because in Japan, the only other ride that they have that we don't have is a Yoshi roller coaster, but it's less of a thrill ride and more of a little kid roller coaster.
Yeah.
But little Yoshi stuff playing, which is very cool. But the
this
one
is
thing,
dope.
Yeah, it's a full thing. So you go up and then you get into the giant barrel just like in Mario Kart, and then it shoots you out.
I legitimately thought it was going to be like a merry-go-round, but you're in the minecarts.
Oh, no.
This is way cooler than what I thought it was going to be.
It's legit, and we saw somebody put out a like mock-up rendering of what it looks like in like CG, and there's like parts of the track that are missing. So like you go over it, but like it's hard to explain, but like the cart is like held up by like a stick, so you seem like you're flying, but you're not.
Dude, fuck that. That sounds freaky to me. I don't know.
But even they're saying like it's not going to be a scary roller coaster. It's going to be more like an experience, which is cool. But what really upsets me is the direct that they put out yesterday.
Yeah.
Now I know I'm just being a nitpicky ass old man here, but those are 11 minutes that I'm not going to get back in my life. I just feel I love the joy on Miyamoto's face. I love the genuine enthusiasm that he has for this, and I think that that's great. And I know that when I walk in and I hear the Donkey Kong music playing, it's going to do things to me. Bless.
Yeah.
Seeing the KONG hidden around, come on, that's
great.
Awesome.
There's
good stuff there. But there's something about the presentation of this video that bothers me. Roger, if you could bring up the video again. If you just go to like the go before they even get into the land, into Donkey Kong Land, go back a little bit before this. They do this like time lapse thing of Miyamoto like walking to the other land. He's like, today I'm taking you, and it is the cheapest thing I've ever seen. Like, what are we doing here? And if you watch it with audio, they didn't like get rid of the audio, so you just kind of hear a sped up. Like,
here we go.
But they know what this is. Nobody's watching this.
But I watched it.
Yeah, but exactly.
But they're presenting this as a Nintendo Direct. You know?
Yeah, but it's a Super Nintendo World Direct. It's a different thing.
It is, but there's just something about this that I'm like, oh man, it cheapens the whole value of the experience to me. And I feel like you didn't even watch the whole thing, and you're looking at this, you're like, I don't know about that hot dog. I
mean, that's
there's
fair.
something about the presentation.
But there's also a reason why I didn't watch the whole thing, right? Like, I think they know that most people are going to read Super Nintendo World Direct and go, oh, you're not announcing games here. Cool, I'm just not going to watch this.
I didn't expect game announcements. I just expected them to make this world look awesome.
But I think
this looks like Universal to me. This doesn't look like Disney. I'm going to say it. That's what I'm saying.
I just think they know how narrow the audience is for the people that are like showing up to watch this video, that we're not going to give this to our editing team who's working on trailers for the next game, or they got shit they're doing. Give this to Miyamoto and put him in Premiere Pro and see what he does. Like,
so here's the thing though. I see people in chat, they're questioning, they're saying, Tim, you're an old man, you're stupid, you're wrong. And I feel you and I hear you. But here's the thing. I don't think that the time lapse thing that they did is the worst offender. Like to me, that just set the tone for like, oh, I don't know about this. You know, it's we'll see. I'm going to watch this whole video. At least I'm going to get to see the minecart ride. At least I'm going to get to see the minecart ride. Bless, they don't show the minecart ride. They just don't show it. You get to the end, you get up to the barrel, and then the screen flashes white.
That's where it ends. Oh, man. Oh, that's a bump. But, like, they're keeping the surprise.
Keeping the surprise.
They're keeping the surprise.
Yeah, what are we doing? Show some B-roll. I don't need to get a full-on ride thing. Just, you're kidding me with this?
I just go. Go to Japan and
just
get on
go.
the ride.
Oh, that really sells me on going to Japan.
You don't expect the end of the movie in the trailer.
Yeah. Danny Hibiki says that did actually legitimately make me disappointed. That's all I'm saying. Is like that end bit. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I understand that.
There's just something about the presentation of that I'm like, y'all did not nail that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're right. The warp speed thing, they could have just put music underneath it. Like this is a $1 billion company. We can't be given excuses like this. This is a $1 billion company with a $1 billion company come together to make a presentation. They can put some music behind it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. They presented this as something to watch. I was excited to watch it. I watched it and I was like, oh man, y'all could have tried harder. Now I'm still very excited for this. It's my dream to go to a Nintendo theme park, and them adding new rides and stuff is awesome. And again, the support for Donkey Kong Country, fantastic stuff. But I want to see the minecart ride, man.
I wonder. You're right about the minecart ride, right? And I think that I do wonder about the. I love that we're getting into editing of it, but like I wonder if it's a thing of, because this is a Super Nintendo World thing versus like a Nintendo Direct, I wonder if they just give the editing to a completely different team that is overseeing like the theme park, and they just have a different standard of it, right? I mean, they're just like, oh yeah, this is put together.
Universal, baby.
Yeah,
it's that universal magic that everybody, I don't want to say loves, just has thoughts on.
Yeah,
I know I do.
I understand where you're coming from.
Thank you, I appreciate
your pain, Tim.
Thank you. CJ Splits on writes in with a super chat saying Donkey Kong dog KF rating 1 to 10. I need to get that thing in my mouth. You know what I mean? I don't want to judge it based on looks, because I will say I had some of the Nintendo Land food, and I was surprised at how good it was.
What's this? Like,
we got to
cream on top.
Is it like cheese thing? What's
Cheese Whiz or something?
Yeah, Cheese Whiz. There it is.
Because you got the of course the dog in the bread as you do during hot. Then you got like some Doritos. And then like one of the Doritos has some shit sprinkled on it, and then the Cheese Whiz, which I have to assume is Cheese Whiz, even though it looks creamy for some reason.
Is it like a banana thing? Yeah, is this like a dessert dog? No.
If that thing is banana flavored, I gotta see somebody. I gotta talk to somebody.
And then what's those two little things on the corner, like the red and yellow thing? What the fuck is that? It's like a gummy?
Red and yellow.
Just a little fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe a little pepper, but it doesn't.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I just don't like it.
Krogan Clinic in Super Chat saying Nintendo shows everything but the Switch 2. When the time is right, the Switch 2 will reveal itself.
I mean, the streets are saying not in 2024 anymore, right?
I mean, I feel that. Yeah. I did. Now that the October dream is over, no.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2025, I think.
What month?
I mean, I don't know. At this point, it's just like I
hope January.
I hope so too.
I just want it as soon as possible.
Yeah. We got a Donut Dude 246 says, what kind of cream is on Donkey Kong's dog? Doritos on the side. Interesting addition.
Someone said it's avocado cream. That doesn't make it better.
The cream on the dog, I'm not a fan of.
Cream on the dog,
cream
dude.
on the glizzy, no. I'm not a fan.
We're going to get to more news stories after a quick word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Sonic the Hedgehog at Topgolf. Y'all, when you take one good thing and you take another good thing and you mash them together, that is when magic happens. Kinda Funny loves Sonic the Hedgehog. Kinda Funny loves Topgolf. So you know Kinda Funny is hyped for Sonic the Hedgehog and friends to arrive at Topgolf at supersonic speed on Friday, November 15th with the launch of the new Topgolf game, Sonic the Hedgehog, exclusively available for play at Topgolf venues across the United States. Created for players of all skill levels, which is great for me, Topgolf meets the fast-paced action of Sonic in this new in-venue game where players go head-to-head in iconic virtual Sonic environments, Green Hill Zone and Sky Sanctuary. You can play as 4 iconic characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, to hit springs, collect rings, and destroy badniks. For players making the transition from a joystick to a club for the first time, Topgolf has your back with its new club, The Sure Thing, designed to make golf less hard. Come play around with your friends and family at a Topgolf near you and try out the new Sonic the Hedgehog game. This episode's brought to you by Marvel Snap. Y'all know Marvel Snap completely took over my life when it burst on the scene 2 years ago. I love it so much that I even mentioned Marvel Snap in my wedding vows because to this day, my wife Gia is so obsessed that she has not missed a single day of completing her challenges. Marvel Snap is an award-winning collectible card game that combines deep strategy, a unique snapping mechanic, and your favorite Marvel characters with thousands of unique card art variants created by renowned artists to collect and use. One of my favorite things about Marvel Snap is just how fast-paced it is. Each game only takes about 3 minutes, so it's always a great time to pop in for a game or two. New cards are released every week, new seasons every month, and frequent events keep the game fresh and exciting. Each game takes only 3 minutes, so you can get in and out wherever you are. And with more than 270 cards in Marvel Snap with over 2,000 unique art variants, you'll always find something new. Download the Marvel Snap app now, available on the App Store, Google Play, and Steam, or visit marvelsnap.com to learn more. This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Forget the boring gifts this year. Shady Rays makes finding something special for everyone on your list easy. With premium polarized sunglasses that bring both clarity and comfort, you'll be giving a gift that they'll appreciate every time they step outside. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice this holiday season. Every pair of shades also comes with lost or broken protection. If those shades ever disappear or get damaged, Shady Rays will replace them, no questions asked. Shady Rays makes gifting easy with a team ready to help with fast and friendly support. So, give the gift of quality, style, and worry-free wear this season with Shady Rays. Treat yourself for someone special. Go to shadyrays.com and use code KINDAFUNNY for 40% off 2 or more shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shadyrays.com, code KINDAFUNNY. All I'm saying is imagine if Sakurai produced that Nintendo Direct. It would have the sauce, man. We would learn something.
You wanted to waste his time? Let that man work on whatever magic he's cooking right now. You want to take away 5 hours of his day to work on an edit? No. Now, something more important.
Mm-hmm.
Roger, I found the footage where Mike Tyson talks.
Hezbollah. That's what it said, Hezbollah?
The short guy. The short guy.
Is that a real video when you cradling him? Is it like,
yeah. You know.
Did you know he was?
There was a baby.
He said I thought it was a baby.
And I didn't know. I'm hungry. Punching me. I don't know, man. I thought I am with children.
Yeah.
I'm hugging on this guy.
You grabbing kissing him. Yeah, I didn't know if you actually knew it.
He's like 26 years old.
Yeah. I didn't know if you like playing it up for the camera or if you actually didn't know.
No, I did not know.
Hezbollah.
Could you imagine?
This is the
This is crazy.
I don't know if Greg's watching right now. This is information Greg Miller needs to know. I feel like this might break him. So we'll have to figure that out later. Story number 2, Dragon's Dogma and Devil May Cry director Hideaki Itsuno joins Tencent Subsidiary to make AAA action games. This comes from Wesley Yin-Poole at IGN. Famed former director of Devil May Cry and Dragon's Dogma series has joined Tencent Games subsidiary Lightspeed Studios. Itsuno, who left Capcom earlier this year after over 30 years at the Japanese games company, announced the formation of a new developer called Lightspeed Japan Studio, with offices in Tokyo and Osaka. Most exciting for fans, however, is Itsuno's plan to focus on developing original AAA action games, something he built his career doing at Capcom. Itsuno's long list of credits include the likes of Rival Schools, Power Stone, the Devil May Cry series, and most recently, the Dragon's Dogma games. He was the director of Dragon's Dogma 2, which launched earlier this year and goes down as Itsuno's final game for Capcom. Quote, joining Lightspeed Studios is an exciting new chapter for me. With Lightspeed's strong development capability and global network, I look forward to creating original AAA action game titles together with the amazing team and building aesthetic and innovative experiences for the global player community. We welcome all talented and passionate game creators from the world over to join our vision. Lightspeed Studios is perhaps best known as the co-developer of Krafton's PUBG Mobile, which is one of the most popular mobile games of all time. It's Los Angeles studios working on Last Sentinel, a narrative-focused open-world action game set in a dystopian future Tokyo.
Interesting stuff. I think one, obviously he left Capcom earlier this year, but it is still like a pretty, I think, sad loss for Capcom, because this guy is somebody who has like a storied history there, right? Like, you know, he was worked on most recently on the Dragon's Dogma games, but then also he did Devil May Cry 5, and he's done Devil May Cry in the past, right? Devil May Cry 3, Devil May Cry 4. He worked on 2 as the replacement director. So he has a history there, but then also, I guess those are like the main things, right? I guess,
but I mean, even going back, Power Stone, Rival Schools, like those are like, that's OG fun Capcom games. Like this dude got the stuff. Obviously, I am closest to Devil May Cry when it comes to all this. I didn't play the Dragon's Dogma games, but I know you guys enjoyed too quite a bit. But I've been Devil May Cry pilled recently. because following Adi Shankar, who's working on the new anime that's coming out on Netflix, he's been tweeting up a storm, and I just fucking love it. I love the way that guy's brain works. Is just special. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm along for the ride. Can't wait for the show. I think it's going to be so much fun. But it's got me feeling like, damn, do I want to go back to Devil May Cry 5? Like, I feel like it's been long enough that I haven't played that game that I'm like, I need some of that in my life. And it's a bummer that I feel like we're never going to get a 6. Like, I just feel
you think we're never going to get a 6?
I mean, with this type of news, like, I feel like he was such a bit important key part of the success of the Devil May Cry games, and 5 was so damn good. And the way it ended, I'm like, dude, we need a 6. The world needs a 6. But yeah, I just, at this point, I feel like we would have got it announced already if we were going to. It's always been a couple years in between Devil May Cry's being announced, so never say never. Devils never die, everybody. But
what do you think he might be working on with Tencent? Right, Tencent. You got to assume that they gave him the bag. They're like, hey, we know your talent. You're an esteemed game director. You've worked on such storied franchises. They're going to throw a bunch of money at you to create us a success. What do you think Itsuno, what bag does he reach into? Do you think he's like, all right, let's bring back a Devil May Cry-like game. Yep. Oh, I'm going to make another Dragon's Dogma style game. Like, where do you think he goes?
I think it's going to be a stylish action game. I do think it's going to be a Devil May Cry-like experience, Bayonetta-like experience. I think that just makes sense. And a lot of this is me kind of like hoping it because I want that. Like, that's the type of stuff I like. But I also think that's an easier, it's less risky than doing something bigger. And I feel like this is a perfect example that we've now seen a couple times, and we're going to continue to see, of established creator leaving the big company to do their own thing, funded by Tencent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that we can kind of learn from the mistakes of the past and get a adequately budgeted project out there with a scope and scale to hit manageable returns. You know what I mean? To not make the sales expectations astronomical and not have the needs for the game to sell millions and millions and millions of copies in order to be even considered not a failure, right? He's a smart dude, though. I have faith in this one more than some of the other recent situations like this. But yeah, I do think it'll be a, all things considered, smaller title.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I would hope that is something along the lines of, make another stylish action game, or make another, RPG in the likes of Dragon's Dogma, because I think that truly is a unique ass game that spoke to a lot of people this year. I worry because it's Tencent that it is going to be, all right, make us like a multiplayer thing, like make us like a live service thing that's going to make us a lot of money, right? We're recruiting you because we know your talent, but also we want to build something that's going to last for 10 years and make a return, and we can build it off the back of maybe being a stylish thing, right? Maybe it could be something that has the attitude of a Devil May Cry, because we know you can make something like that, but something that's also going to be co-op or live or have like loot boxes or whatever it is, because we're throwing the bag at you, so we expect you to make the bag back for us, right? Like, I'm very fascinated to see where this goes, and like, there's definitely like a thing to be done here of sitting down and tracing the deals that Tencent has made so far and like trying to figure out where that has led to, like what kind of games. I guess I could just look up Tencent produced games on Wikipedia or something. I'm sure I'll find something, but I'm very fascinated to like, what is the strategy of Tencent bringing on Itsuno? Like,
I mean, specifically Lightspeed Studios, best known for PUBG Mobile. That does say a lot.
Yeah.
So, co-developer, though. So maybe this is them trying to take a step forward into something else. We'll have to wait and see. But again, I do feel like the talent there is clear. And I think that he's led so many different games to success that I do have more faith here than in some of the other similar situations where maybe the other people had like one hit or two hits, but like we're talking about multiple back-to-back hits.
Oh yeah, like 20 years of killing it.
Story number 3, GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition gets a surprise update. This comes from Wesley Yinpool at IGN. Rockstar issued a surprise update for GTA Trilogy today, November 12th, nearly 2 years since the last one. Dude, I got so into the world of the Penguin and all the like. The moment they mentioned triads, I booted up GTA 3.
No way.
I just played like an hour of it. I'm just like, hell yeah,
Good
man.
for you.
Got to get into this world. But nearly 2 years since the last one, GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, a 2021 compilation of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, was heavily criticized upon launch on PC and console. In contrast, the mobile version of GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, released in December last year, met with critical acclaim. Players praised the ports for fixing several issues found on the console and PC versions, including lighting, shadows, reflections, and draw distance. A Rockstar Games blog post published at the time mentioned that these ports include a new classic lighting mode that restores the look and feel of the sky in the original games. That's pretty sick. I like that a lot.
I just want to say, like, I re-downloaded the trilogy like literally last week, and I was like, man, the lighting looks so shit. So this is perfect. I'm so excited.
Tim, did you ever play the GTA Definitive Trilogy?
Yes, briefly, but I had once I hit the issues, I was like, I don't like this.
It's nuts what they did with the lighting, because it's like it was very much a thing of somebody over there discovered some tool in their engine that they're using to make this thing, and they're like, turn the lighting up on everything, and so everything just casts fucking light, and everything kind of just looks like the lights coming out your car look insane, right?
Yeah.
Like everything is just lit in such a weird and overdone way. So yeah, I'm glad that they've added this as the update. Like the side by sides look fantastic of the difference that's there. And I was thinking about the fact that like I replayed most of San Andreas, but I think I still have like maybe 4 or 5 missions left for like my most recent playthrough through this trilogy. So this might be the thing makes me go back.
Get back in. I mean, hey, it looks cool because now finally the classic lighting option is in Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition on PC and console. Early reports indicate sweeping visual improvements across the board that are already going down well with fans. Reports also indicate Grove Street Games, original developer of the trilogy, is no longer mentioned in game. The mobile versions were developed by Video Games Deluxe, the Australian studio behind LA Noire VR case files. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I'm happy that they fixed it though. Because
Very
the
happy.
GTA trilogy is way too important to be last remembered as having a shitty definitive edition.
10 years from now, we're going to get another
yeah.
remaster or remake. They're going to remake these until the end of time.
Do you think they're actually going to do the original plan, which was to remake Red Dead and GTA 4? Or is this just kind of like a, hey, let's just fix the legacy and move on from this?
I don't even know what you're referring to there.
Yeah, that was the original idea with Grove Street Games, was like, hey, we're going to remake all of these other games, and then this was a huge failure.
Yeah, I remember like so vividly that there was a report right after GTA Trilogy came out and everybody hated it. The report was that they were going to also make GTA 4, but I think because of how bad this did, they're like, oh, let's not do it. But then we did get the Red Dead remaster, which I forget if that was originally their plan or not.
Yeah, that was not like a remake at all. That was just like a port.
Yeah.
Much.
I would be surprised if we got a GTA 4 like remake, especially now that we're on the precipice, fingers crossed, hopefully, of GTA 6. I think what could be cool is if they somehow like, and this is me speaking to like a different kind of future, but if they're somehow able to remake GTA 4 within GTA 6. I know that sounds batshit insane.
I'm with you.
But like, I think we're building to something like that with it, right? Like the rumors around GTA 6 is that they want to like maybe add cities over time. And so like if we get to year 4 or something, and they're like, here's Liberty City or here's San Andreas. If you add Liberty City, just give me a campaign, and maybe that campaign either could be a remake of, I guess it could be GTA 3, but also could be GTA 4.
Could
maybe,
be everybody.
Possibly. I don't know. I'm just speaking. I'm just talking.
Just speaking.
I'm just a guy with a microphone.
You're just willing things into existence.
I'm just willing things into existence.
I appreciate it. Story number 4. Fortnite OG is coming back permanently in December. This comes from Andrew Webster at Verge. Fortnite's going old school once again. Epic's announced that the throwback mode Fortnite OG, which brings back the Battle Royale's original island, will become a permanent fixture of the game starting on December 6th. OG first launched last November as a limited time event, which turned out to be a big hit and was designed explicitly to bring back lapsed players to the game ahead of the release of LEGO Fortnite. Its return means iconic Fortnite elements like Tilted Towers and the Baller will now be a standard part of the experience. I think this is cool as hell. I love that we're at a point with these ongoing live service games that we can go back and celebrate and have moments, even like the term live service, just multiplayer games. The Halo 2 thing happening right now, celebrating the anniversary with all the old maps. The Apex Legends, where they brought it back for a second.
Overwatch did it yesterday too.
Very, very, very cool. And it being a permanent feature, I think makes sense at this point, but I also just think that is a testament to the success of Fortnite and the legacy that it has. But I love that it's continuing to grow and change, but it's still able to be like, we could put out this other version that we know so many people want.
Yeah, I love this. It is crazy though to think that, oh man, this Fortnite came out 7 years ago, like something like that, right? And I guess the battle royale popped off probably closer to 6 years ago. But the fact that we're already at a point where they can make something called Fortnite OG and harken back to it and it feel like a big deal are pretty wild.
Yeah.
Also, kind of crazy that this is a trend in the last week that we've seen Apex, Overwatch, and now Fortnite all do this kind of at the same time. Kind of weird, but also I welcome it. Like, I like this, but it is also like what do they know?
Well, I wonder if it just has to do with us getting into the holiday season for some reason, or maybe just like I'm just throwing things out there around the time of either these games being released or these games being pushed in previous years for holiday stuff. So maybe this is just kind of like hey, let's get people in.
That's
and like,
a really
let's get
good
people
point.
back. But
apparently last time they did this was for Fortnite. They temporarily did this right before launching Lego Fortnite as a way to get people in and then, have them there by the time Lego Fortnite launches. So I think there's something that these companies know about doing these OG seasons. I think these are like a surefire way to get people back into the game. Like, it's probably like just a proven, we know this is going to work. Yeah. So yeah, I wonder if they're timing it with maybe Black Friday or with holidays or people getting new consoles and being like, oh, they got OG Apex. Oh, I used to love that back on the PS4. Oh man, I'll jump into that right now.
I mean, even Warzone, right? Like, just hearing the boys talk about Verdansk, the amount of times I hear Verdansk is coming back, it's like, okay, like, why doesn't it just
somehow
stay?
Verdansk return?
And at some point, I'm sure it will. Like, right? Like, I'm sure at some point, like just like Fortnite OG here, it will just be, hey, you can always dance if you need to. You can dance if you want to.
Yep. You can leave Verdansk behind.
Story number 5, Ubisoft has been sued after shutting down The Crew. This comes from Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. Ubisoft's being sued by 2 gamers in California.
And they're sitting right here. That's right, everybody. Me and Tim.
Oh my God. Over its shutdown of open world racing game The Crew in March. A class action lawsuit spotted by Polygon was filed November 4th by Matthew Castle, who bought The Crew from a GameStop in early 2020, and Alan Liu, who also bought it from a GameStop, but in November 2018. Both plaintiffs were under the impression they were paying to own and possess the video game The Crew instead of paying for a limited license to use The Crew. This license over product argument will likely be at the crux of Ubisoft's defense. Imagine you buy a pinball machine and years later you enter your den to go play it only to discover that the paddles are missing, the pinball and bumpers are gone, and the monitor that proudly displayed your unassailable high scores removed, the lawsuit reads. Y'all are going hella hard, man. Like, it's not poetry, okay?
They really care about. They really wanted to play The Crew. They wanted to play The Crew long term. Like, that's not just a bullshit, like, we want to get the bag and like make a lawsuit that we don't really care about. These motherfuckers care. There's passion here.
One of them's been playing since 2020 and one of them since 2018.
Yeah.
All right.
I think The Crew 2 was out by then. What are you doing?
Turns out the pinball machine manufacturer decided to come into your home, gut the insides of the pinball machine, and remove your ability to play the game that you bought and thought you owned. Even though you paid full price to receive this game, you never knew that the manufacturer could come in one day and, without your control, leave you with the skeleton of what you thought you paid for.
Hey, I mean, they're spitting.
Look, here's the thing.
I'm not gonna lie, they're
not wrong. It's just very funny.
Yeah.
The Crew is indeed no longer playable. No version of the game, whether it's physical or digital, or even if it's owned already, has been since it launched in 2014, can be bought and played in any capacity. Ubisoft has taken measures to create offline versions of The Crew 2 and sequel The Crew Motorfest, but no similar action was taken for the original, rendering it non-existent. The lawsuit seeks monetary relief and damages for those impacted by The Crew shutdown, but only time will tell whether it's successful. Ubisoft declined to comment when contacted by Polygon.
Yeah, this is a bizarre one.
It is. Like, obviously, this is a very important thing to be figured out. And I do think that Ubisoft is going to have to take it seriously. And I think going forward, like, there's going to have to be way more.
There was a law passed, I believe, recently.
Very recently, yeah.
Yeah, that if you don't actually, or if you can't actually own the product, like a digital product, then it shouldn't say buy. It should say, like, buying license or something that was specifically, I don't own this.
Yeah.
And so I think we're already at the place where this God, I can't talk. Specific thing is being fixed. But But I guess what I'm fascinated about, like, why the crew, because this feels almost like I don't actually think these guys genuinely care, even though this was written like it. But I wonder if this was a thing by them of, all right, we bought the crew. The crew was taken offline and made it, therefore rendered unplayable. We know that we can make a case here somehow with the crew versus other games that do this. Because it's not like the crew is unique in this, in like not being playable, right? Like so many games go offline and become unplayable. Like, I wonder what it is about the crew specifically that, like, maybe they actually read the fine print and was like, oh, we got them.
We got these fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unassailable. High score. All right. Story number 6. Valve announces limited edition white Steam Deck OLED. I love that this is a story and this isn't just Wii News.
Oh, I mean, we had to talk about this.
You.
You don't have to read the thing. We can just bring up the images and just shout out how this thing looks.
I mean, come on.
Because come on.
Now, I do have a problem with it, and this is a Tim problem, but okay. I'm a fan of the Stormtrooper look. I like black on white. I'm not a fan of the gray on white. So for me, a lot of people, and I appreciate you all, a lot of people tweeting this at me yesterday, like, uh-oh, Tim, your wallet's going to get lighter. And thankfully, it's not. I'm happy with my Steam Deck OLED, but this is not for me, although I'm happy it exists.
I'm surprised you don't dig gray on white. Yeah. I think it looks clean.
I'm not a gray guy. Hey, look, I appreciate it for other people. I'm saying it's not my thing. I like the Stormtrooper look.
I mean, you can replace the buttons. You have a Steam Deck with black buttons. Think about that.
So here's another thing, though. When it comes to portables, like to handhelds that have OLED, I want them to be black. I like hardware to be white, but portables I want black because the screen, I want it to just disappear. That's why I'm extremely excited for my Retroid Pocket 5 that's on the way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shut up about this thing once I get it.
Retro Pocket 5. What's up with all these?
We'll explain it on the GameScast at
too.
some point.
Okay. I want to hear about this.
Yeah.
Because I feel there's become so many handheld unique systems that people are playing now.
A storm is brewing. Yeah? Me and Roger are in the eye of the storm. And you guys are all going to have to deal with it very soon.
Because it's like, at home, right? I got my Steam Deck and I got my Playdate. And that's all I need. I don't even play the Playdate. Ooh, hold on.
So he's streaming games. So that's what's cool about this.
Dude, it's OLED, baby.
It's like a Vita size.
Fuck, okay.
$200.
You got me.
Yeah.
Are there triggers on this?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
This looks divine.
Yeah.
This looks crazy.
All right, we'll talk about this later. But anyway, good for you, Steam Deck.
It's called a Retroid Pocket 5?
Retroid Pocket 5.
Okay.
It's shaped Vita-like.
Yeah.
But
I like
even
that.
A bit more ergonomical. Exciting times. Big times, plus.
How much did it cost you?
A little over 200.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be shipping in 2 days.
Okay.
I've been watching a lot of videos about it.
Oh, they got one that's colored like a GameCube?
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. They got one in Super Famicom colors as way. Crazy stuff. Anyways, this is big news. If I wanted small news, where would I look, Bless?
You would go to our last news story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
BGC says Sony has cut this PS5 Slim Digital Edition price by $70 until Christmas.
Yeah.
The disc-free console is now available for $380. That's awesome.
That's great.
Very unexpected, right? This seems $70 is a substantial amount of money. Mm-hmm. And like leading into the holidays, like good for them.
Yeah. I wonder, maybe this is like something because maybe this is because like the PS5 Pro is coming out, so they want to like maybe hit from both sides of here's your premium edition, but also like buy the slim one though. Like, let's get these out the door. Let's sell some of these.
It's great.
That's awesome, especially right now where everything's getting more expensive. Yeah, give me a little cut.
Noble says Compulsion Games and Lost and Colt and Cook and Becker. There's so many names there. Announced the art and music of South of Midnight. It's limited to 1,000 and estimated launch date is April 30th, 2025. Ilphonic announced Arcadegeddon will become free to play in early 2025.
I sent Greg a Slack about this.
Yeah.
Because do you remember Arcadegeddon? Mm-hmm. It's like good for them. Like I love that they're able to still be out there going and then also be able to go free to play next year. But it makes me think about Concord and how come Concord only got 10 days, bro? Arcadegeddon's out here still killing it.
It's
still
wild.
kicking it.
G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra launches November 21st on Xbox Series, PS5, and Nintendo Switch. Sea of Stars free DLC Dawn of Equinox is out now. And Botany Manor is coming to PS4 and 5 on December 17th. That's it for Wii News. Oh, man. Looking at your wrong. And they got some stuff here. No. I'm deleting these.
He's
deleting
deleting.
them all.
He's deleting. I'll delete them all.
They've been deleted. They've
Wow.
been deleted.
Good for you.
Good for
There's
you.
a couple super-
Sometimes you gotta like stand against the you're wrongs.
Yeah.
Just be like, I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just editorializing. I mean, in fact, Kebabs, you know what you did. All right.
Kebabs.
What if Bless says something and you write in to you're wrong, just being like Bless is right? I just want to let you know. You're doing it wrong.
I mean, it boosts my ego, and so you know what, Kebabs, you're doing good out there.
Little super chats for you. Joe Acher says, Tim, I picked up Prince of Persia, Lost Crown. Wait, 2 Crowns is what he said.
Prince of Persia, 2 Crowns. Is that
I
a
think you mean
game?
the Lost Crowns.
Okay.
But there's the 2 Thrones, which is Prince of Persia. I imagine you mean Lost Crown. And I hit the point where I'm smiling and can't put it down. As an experienced Metroidvaniast, how often did you die? I played very fast and loose with it, where it's like I would just go forward. Like I always would just jump. I would not look before I leap. I would just leap.
Yeah.
And so I died a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's part of the fun for me. You know what I mean? To start it over and trying again. So yeah, I died a fair amount in that game. And also some of the combat is pretty difficult. Like the bosses are hard in that game.
What did you like more between Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown and Metroid Dread?
Lost Crown at the end of the day. And I love Metroid Dread. God, I was thinking about Metroid Dread.
Metroid Dread's pretty
recently.
sick.
It's really sick. No, Lost Crown, I think, has extra oomph to it, where it's an excellent Metroidvania, but the combat, man, like the mechanics of the combat, I think really set it apart. And the platforming challenges. Yeah, it's better than Metroid Dread.
Wow.
Definitively.
I really got to play through it.
Definitively. We got Mara writes in saying, Bless, while you're in your TV era, you got to check out Dan to Dan. The Persona meets FL Fully Cooley vibes are immaculate, and the OST gives Jet Set Radio at times.
Oh, okay. You really just sold me there. I'm finishing up. Actually, I think I just finished up the Goku Black arc of the Dragon Ball Super. So I'm about ready to take a break before I continue. So maybe I'll fill that break with Dan to Dan. We'll see.
I like the theme song.
Theme song's great.
We got Goldfish War. Has any of the KF crew tried Tactical Beach Wizards by Tom Francis? I can't recommend it enough. 100% a contender.
I have.
What'd you think?
It's really fun. I have not gone back to it since I booted that up during the Japan trip. I was like, oh, that's like a good like flight game. It's fucking sick. Like I'm not a tactical, the type of gamer. Like I don't play the XCOM games, but this is like has a really good art style. It's really funny, and it's just puzzles. Like they're just like really small like rooms that you're just trying to get through. And also you can like go back and if you fuck up, you can just immediately roll back, and there's no like issues with going back and redoing your turns. So it's very flexible and easy to pick up. So yeah, it's really fun. I don't know if it's on my top 10 list, but it's a fun time.
Yeah, I remember when Roger first started playing it. You were raving about it to me, and like almost got me to pick it up. I still might pick it up.
You should.
Then we got Mr. Hawk saying birthday tax and a quick plug for my podcast, Story Modders podcast, and our most recent episode with Madeline Stanley. It's all about her kind of funny experience. Let's go Chelsea.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so go check that out. Trevor says non-video game related. Blessings talks about modern board games here and there. Would be interested in seeing board game content from Bless. Board game content is just so hard to do right,
that's
man.
the tough thing is like you need the camera angles, you need the space.
It's the rules,
and
dude.
the rule. Yeah,
getting people to actually play a game is so freaking hard.
Yeah,
man.
Like even during board game nights, right? Like during a regular board game nights, there's a lot of lulls because half of it is me reading the rules, trying to understand the rules while my friends are getting high, and then trying to explain the rules. And I kid you not, like my board game nights have slowed down because it happens every single time.
Oh my God.
They're like, yo, let's go outside real quick. And they come back and I try to explain the rules to them and they're not getting anything. And I'm like, why are we doing this? Just eliminate the board games. Let's play video games if you guys are going to get high. It's crazy. Stop get off the weed.
Get off the weed, everybody. Michael Chomecki says, I'll sell my soul for a Metaphor spoiler cast. I'm surprised we haven't done that yet.
Well, we did the Metaphor versus Persona episode, me and Barrett. Not necessarily a spoiler cast, but that did allow us to get a bit deeper into like a lot of the stuff in Metaphor. So you should definitely check that out. I'm sure eventually I could see us doing a Metaphor spoiler cast. Maybe me, Barrett, and Michael Hine.
I am probably, yeah. CJ Splits on, final one for today, says PlayStation teases 12/3/24 and the new ad is an event coming. We're going to talk about that on tomorrow's Kind of Funny Games Daily. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here. We're about to do the Kind of Funny Gamescast with Paris Lilly talking all about his time with South of Midnight. Can't wait to hear that. After that, we're going to have Mike and Nick streaming some roller coaster game. Me and Bless, we're going to go get high. Bye.